Every single day I hear from human resources people. Every single day I hear about the concerns about the future. Every single day I hear that they're afraid that they're going to lose their jobs. Their jobs are going to be eliminated and they're going to be replaced by robots. I hear it every day. Okay? But artificial intelligence is here, and that's probably not going to happen so fast. And today I'm going to talk about how to stay relevant during this time of change, because I'm sure everybody in this room is a little bit concerned, and everybody wants to stay a little bit relevant, I hope. Okay. So, but before I even get to that, I'm going to go way back many, many years and probably date myself a little bit, and I'm going to tell you all a story about many years ago when we first heard the term the information superhighway. Does anybody remember that one? Okay, so we heard the information superhighway, the internet, going online, what have you, and there was a big buzz about that. And everybody was talking about it, excited about it, curious about it, and some people were also nervous about it. And at the time, I was managing technology training. So I went up to one of my senior managers and I said, hey, I have an idea. Let's teach people how to use this internet thing. Okay, now for some of the young people in the room, I know this is ridiculous. Right? Because you grew up with it, you can't even imagine life without it. But for those of us that are a little bit older, this technology was brand new, and we had absolutely no idea what it was about and how it was going to impact our lives. So I said this, and his response, believe it or not, was this. No need. It's just a flash in the pan. It's not going to last. We don't have to teach this to anybody. Seriously? Seriously, can you believe somebody actually said that? Is there anybody in this room today that can honestly say that the internet, going online, using text, using apps, using your cell phone doesn't impact your life? Anybody here? I want you to raise your hands high if anybody feels that way, because I don't think anybody here says that. Right? Because going onto the internet has fundamentally changed our lives. Somewhat for the better, hopefully. Somewhat's questionable. Okay. Anyway, so when I think of artificial intelligence, and I hear what's being said about artificial intelligence, it's the same exact chatter. I'm hearing the excitement, I'm hearing the curiosity, and I'm hearing the fear. It's the same thing. And I can promise you that sometime in the near future, I don't know if it's going to be in 5 years, or 10 years, or in 15 years, somebody's going to be standing up here and saying, does artificial intelligence impact your lives? And if it doesn't, raise your hand. And nobody's going to be able to raise their hand because it's going to fundamentally change the way we are again and the way we live again. It's coming and it's here. Now, in human resources, before I even get to that, the good news is artificial intelligence currently is in its infancy. I look at artificial intelligence like a slow-moving train. You have two choices. You can resist it and throw rocks at it and say it's a terrible thing, but can you stop a train by throwing rocks at it? I don't think so. Or you could jump on the train. You jump on the train while it's still moving slowly, because at some point it's going to pick up speed. So now's the time to jump on the train. Now's the time to learn about artificial intelligence. Don't wait. Do it now. Okay, and now I know a lot of you are here, everybody's here because of some interest in HR, and HR has tons and tons of challenges, right? You have challenges with job descriptions. You have challenges with resumes. Did you get enough? Did you get too many? Do you have time to review them all? Are you reviewing them all well? Do you have some bias incorporated in your reviewing methodology? Those are challenges as well, right? And then you review the resumes and you hone down to a couple of people that you think are really good candidates and you start to scheduling, and that's a nightmare because you're scheduling each person with 5 people with different schedules and the schedules change. And then the questions come in, and the emails, and it's taking up so much of your time that you can't really focus on the people, you're focusing on this process. And it goes on, and you narrow it down to 2 more people, and on paper they're exactly the same. But then you go to test them, and their skills are completely different. Or what if they are the same, and what if they are equal? Can you see if either one of them are going to fit well into your organization? Fitting in culturally is a huge challenge. Has anybody here hired somebody who you thought was great on paper, and then when they started, it was a nightmare when they came in? Raise your hands. I bet everybody in this room can raise their hands. Everybody's made a hire like this, right? So that's another challenge, right? Okay, so they come in, you hire somebody, they're on board, and what happens next? Onboarding. And there's lots of questions again. Okay, more challenges. And then they start their job. And when they start their job, we have to give them feedback. And historically, we give feedback once a year. Now, let me ask you something. If you're an Olympic athlete and you get feedback once a year, do you think you're going to get the gold? I don't think so. Why don't we give our employees the same amount of feedback as we give our athletes? They want to do well, right? Do any employees not want to succeed? They want to do well. We want to give them that feedback. And that feedback needs to be tied. It needs to be tied to training and succession plans and career paths. And you get all this work done, and then what happens? They quit. And you start all over again with the job description. It's a terrible cycle, right? It is, and it's very, very work intensive. And when they quit, you don't even know why they quit. Yeah, there's all these studies out there that say people leave bad bosses. I hear it every day on LinkedIn. I see an article about people leaving bad bosses. But every department is different, and every company is different. So unless you actually collect the data and analyze the data, you don't know why people leave. And that takes time. That's another challenge. The good news is that there are now solutions for every single one of these challenges. There are solutions, I'll say it again, for every single one of these challenges. They all exist. And you need to go out and you need to find what those solutions are. And you're going to sit here and you're going to hear all kinds of different information about artificial intelligence and how it's going to help you. And you might walk out of here and say, you still hate it. You still don't want anything to do with it. It's still the devil. It's your enemy. You're not into artificial intelligence. And you might walk out of here and you might say, you know what? This is really good. I'm really into it. But you know what? It doesn't matter. Because as my friend Michael Corleone said, you're supposed to keep your friends close and your enemies closer. If you don't like artificial intelligence, get close to it. Find out what it's about. Find out how it's going to impact your life. And if you like it, get close to it. Find out what it's about. Find out how it's going to impact your life. Okay? Because you need to know. You need to start learning this stuff today. If you want to stay relevant, you need to get knowledgeable. You need to jump in and you need to read every single thing you can read, every single thing you can find. Find a couple of challenges that you're working with now in your company and find out what those solutions are, what the costs are, what the benefits are, what the challenges to those challenges are, or the risks. And also find out what your competition is doing. Because honestly, they're going to jump on that train whether you do or not. And if that train picks up speed and you're not on it, you're going to be left behind. No, I have one last thought for this, and that's this. Remember that story I told you about in the beginning about the guy who said, oh, it's a flash in the pan? Well, I've kept in touch with many, many people that I've worked with over the years, and I know exactly where they all are today. And I can tell you that the people that embraced technology, the people that were resourceful and came up with potential solutions, the people that went out on their own to learn things, because honestly, it's not going to come to you. You got to go out and find it. The people that are going to go out and find this information, those are the people that are now in the C-suites. They are the CEOs, CIOs, and CTOs in multinational organizations. They are leading companies around the world. I know it for a fact because I know them personally, and they've done amazing because they've embraced the changes. And the people that have been resistant to change, like that one guy who said it was a flash in the pan, they're out of a job. The choice is yours. Start today. Get to know all the information. You don't need to be a data scientist. You don't need to be a technologist. You need to understand it conceptually. Start today.